Hello and welcome to this video that looks at how Curo enables effective and ongoing client review. In this video, we'll look at how client propositions are configured to illustrate the point of just how flexible Curo is when it comes to personalizing the software around the firm's specific requirements and proposition definitions. We'll demonstrate how processes can be triggered when a review is booked and how these processes can line up all of the relevant activities in order for the client servicing team to prepare for the review. We look at how the advice given is managed within the review and how everything is connected back to the review record for ease of checking pre and post the recommendation being accepted. And finally, once the review is completed, we'll see how Curo creates the next review in line based on the agreed service proposition commitment. To begin with, let's now see how much control firms have when it comes to setting up Curo. Key to understanding Curo is that although we've introduced standard processes and document templates as part of our Head Start proposition, they're there to help firms get started with Curo to get a rapid return on investment, but also to showcase the art of the possible. It's entirely our expectation that businesses will in time create their own processes and documents to exactly suit the way they wish to work. Curo facilitates this easily without any risk that the firm could remove itself from the Curo upgrade path, such as the advanced nature of the Curo architecture leveraging the Microsoft Dynamics 365 CRM platform. In exactly the same way that firms have control over processes and template documents, they can also personalize numerous other components of the software, as can be seen in the menu. Included in this is an ability to define the client service propositions. To do this, simply click on the propositions entity and you'll be taken to a view that shows all of the current proposition definitions. To add your own definition, select New, a form will appear, and this can now be completed. Once this is completed, then any client can be added to the proposition. In the case of Daniel and Jane Bailey, they have already been added to the Premier Investment Client proposition, and they and all other clients in this group can be seen here. Alternatively, it's easy to create a view in the Accounts entity and see all clients in the Premier Investment Client propositions like so. All views are created using the Advanced Find tool in Curo, which will automatically default to the query used in the view if the Advanced Find tool is opened when on the view as shown here. Looking at this, it becomes clear just how accessible data is in Curo and how you can easily segment and access your own client groups. In the case of Daniel and Jane Bailey, you can see in the list that there's an associated account relationship. In this example, their daughter Tina Bailey has been set up as a related child account for ease of navigation between these family groups, and this is illustrated like so. Let's now look at how client reviews are managed. Curo is review-centric. It's designed to support the complete client lifecycle from the initial touch to ongoing service reviews. This is managed by designing Curo around a review record. Each account or contact can be associated with a review record, and once one review is completed, then Curo can automatically set up the next review to be held based on the agreed service proposition as considered earlier. In the case of Daniel and Jane Bailey, it's clear that their next review is almost due. We know this because the lead advisor managing the client relationship with their support team has created a review management dashboard that shows all active reviews that are owned by the team. From here they can see that the Bailey household review is coming up fast. When they open the review record, they see that the system set up 2 tasks to prompt them to contact the client, to book the meeting, and to start scheduling the work that needs to be done ahead of the review itself. When the meeting is booked using the convenient process flow and the record saved, a workflow will trigger that creates a review project. A client appointment can also be created, which will synchronize with Outlook automatically. The project entity in Curo is designed to create a series of tasks that are grouped together as discrete projects to help manage the workflow. Although Curo comes pre-configured with a number of Head Start projects and tasks, the projects can be configured by a firm also so that established working practices can be supported and enhanced by Curo. When the task is completed, then the next task in line will appear so that the team are always aware of what's due next and what's been completed already. This is really useful when teams work together in support of a client review, as in this case. So having booked and confirmed the meeting, the team now needs to prepare the review pack. The review pack is made up of 4 documents: the meeting agenda, the review fact find, evaluation, and the client account that looks at all of the time spent during the period and the revenue generated as a result. It's worth pointing out that although in this example the reports are all created individually, it's also possible to build them into one report template that can be generated and sent to the client automatically and without any human intervention, if that was the preferred approach. The tools available in Curo allow the firms to adopt a way of working that suits them perfectly, rather than having to be corralled into a way of working dictated by the software, as so often happens with the older proprietary systems in common use. All of these documents already exist as discrete templates in Curo, and so the team set about building the pack from the constituent parts. Let's look at the documents the team have pulled together. The first is the review fact find document. This document illustrates the extent to which data can be gathered from around the Curo system. So long as the Curo entities are connected to the account, because this is the level the report is run from, then all data can be surfaced via this reporting tool and presented however a firm wants. The tables showing income, expenditure and net worth all use calculations to work out the value shown in the tables, and this demonstrates another of the reporting solution's many qualities. Not only can it replace static data from Curo, but it can also reference data in its own calculations. Next up is evaluation on all investments that contain funds. This template references all of the plan data and shows the split of wrappers and provides greater detail of the plans in the tables below. The charts that follow then analyse the underlying funds from the data provided by the full daily price feed from FE. This feed is included as part of the Curo license. The third document is a client account that shows the total time spent between 2 dates and the income generated over the same period. The time spent and income received are analysed in the tables that support the summary position of the statement itself. Having created all of the documents for the meeting, the team emails them to Daniel and Jane using the encrypted email service supported by Office 365. As always, to maintain the audit trail, all activities and email should be tracked back to the client record for future reference. This can be done automatically by the system, which is a simple system setting, or manually by the system user, either before or after the email has been sent. By tracking the email, a hypertext link is created, and this allows the user to jump back to Daniel's and Jane's account record, saving time by avoiding cumbersome system navigation manifested in the traditional back-office systems. Although this may seem like a trivial example of how time can be saved, but when you consider the time savings multiplied by 170 people over the course of a year, then this could account for a significant amount of time and money. Having sent the documents, the team now wishes to store them in Curo's document management system. Curo integrates natively with Microsoft SharePoint, part of Microsoft Office 365. But Time for Advice is happy to integrate any document management system that may be in use at the firm. To keep all of the documents together with the review activities, the documents are loaded into SharePoint via the review record. SharePoint is accessed via the normal drop-down menu as shown. The review meeting has just been held. Following the meeting, the team reconvene back at base and now need to debrief the meeting to make sure that all actions agreed are captured and distributed amongst them. Opening up the review project reveals that the system has created a new task to run the post-meeting wizard. The wizard walks the review team through a series of pages, giving them the opportunity to make notes about the meeting, as well as setting up follow-on actions to be distributed amongst the team. Once the wizard and project tasks are marked completed, the project sets up the next task in line, which is for the team to prepare the investment recommendation. Navigating back to the review record, the team can see Daniel's planning objective, which is to invest £500,000 over the longer term. At the moment, no requirement has been set against the objective, and so this now needs to be added using the simple controls against the requirements grid. Clicking on the plus sign opens a Curo Quick Create form that enables the essential information to be collected before creating the record in Curo. Once the form is completed and saved, then the full record can be accessed either by the drop-down menu as normal or via the related record grid on the planning objective form. Opening the record now allows the team to further augment the information captured originally on the Quick Create form. Once the form has been completed with additional information deemed relevant to this case, then the team can begin researching the most suitable investment by taking advantage of Curo's integration with O&M. Since the system knows that the client's interest is investment, the O&M integration has already been loaded. By clicking on the O and M button, the data is taken from Curo to a web form where it can be validated. The data can be edited here if needs be. Once the team is happy, then the data is imported into O&M where the product research can be done. The integration with O&M and other third-party solutions is managed via the extensive Curo API, which offers firms full two-way create, read, update and delete data capabilities. Once the data is in O&M, then the research process can begin. The details of the investment are augmented in O&M and the appropriate provider and product selected. In this case, the team favours funds network and a general investment account as most suitable. O&M can be used to create a full investment report, which can be synchronised back to Curo, where it's held in the requirement records notes section. The system can then create a portfolio and synchronise data back to Curo as well. This populates a Curo recommendation record which can be accessed from the requirement record set up earlier. Opening the recommendation record, we can see that all of the data returned from O&M has been populated into the form. This saves time re-entering data and removes the risk of human error altogether. The team can further augment the data as required, making sure that the appropriate narrative is entered around suitability. Curo has already calculated the initial and renewal income that's expected based on the fee template that was configured as part of the system setup. The use of templates like this again speed up data entry and reduce the risk of human error. Once all the fields have been completed, then the team simply select the appropriate suitability template from the form menu, and within a few seconds the suitability report is generated by the system. As well as being created for download, the suitability report has also been sent to Daniel and Jane via DocuSign to review and sign. As before, the template pulls data together from across the system so that the report is sensitive to the information already gathered previously. The DocuSign email has arrived with Daniel, Jane and Roland, their advisor. Roland signs the report, as do Daniel and Jane, as Roland receives the completed DocuSign email soon after. As well as tracking the email back to Curo, the team upload the signed suitability report into the document management system associated with the review record. These documents can be accessed either via the review record itself or at the account level as illustrated. To ensure that the advice is appropriate, the compliance team has built a series of processes to select files for review based on different criteria. In this instance, because the investment amount is high, the file is automatically selected and appears in the compliance area of Curo for the compliance team to review the advice that has been given. The advice is deemed appropriate by the compliance team and released for implementation. The Implement Advice wizard now converts the recommendation into a new plan. The now newly created plan is connected to the recommendation record for audit purposes, and it's from here that the team can see that the income profiles and contribution records have also been created and associated with the plan. Navigating to the account record via the hypertext link in the recommendation record allows the team to review the new plan next to the other plans in force. You'll see that at the moment the plan is set as proposed and has no policy number. Both fields will update when the plan is processed by Funds Network and they return a valuation statement. To illustrate this, we've created a valuation statement that we'll manually upload. Under normal circumstances, this would happen automatically if the product provider supports electronic bulk file updates. The file is processed and the GIA is now set in force and the correct policy number has been applied. When the plan record is opened, then the team can see that the correct income profiles and income expectation records have also been set. Navigating to the account record will also reveal the income expected along with other income received from the Bailey household. These will automatically be reconciled when the Funds Network remuneration statement is sent. The review is now completed. Navigating around the review form, the team can see the original planning objectives, the newly created requirement, and recommendation are all associated with the review record. Further, now that the review has been completed, the system has created the next review record scheduled for 6 months' time, with all of the tasks ready to kick off the process again. In this video, we've demonstrated how review-centric Curo is. From setting up the firm's servicing proposition to the management of the entire review process, from the initial engagement to the giving and recording of the advice that came as a result. Everything is captured back against the review record, which can easily be selected for compliance oversight based on the firm's own rules. We've seen how the system responds to provider messages and how everything is made ready again for the next review once this review is completed, ensuring that everyone in the team is aware of what is due and by when. I hope that you found this video useful, but please don't hesitate to contact us should you require any more information about Time for Advice or Curo.